Back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back live.
SMM
Right. We're missing three
Jonathan?
people. Is Jonas in? Yeah, T. Jonas is in. Sorry about that, J. Cole. I had an error code come up on F1. It completely shut the game down. Right. Right. For what's called Ella is Harry in. Yeah, Harry's in. Adri's in. Sparks is in. Neo's
Toxic.
in. Yeah, Toxic Tomato. Toxic Tomato's in.
No, Toxic. What's his PSN?
Oh, Toxic underscore MML.
MML.
Yeah. We got Shabalini in. Who else are we missing?
PR1 Will? No?
PR1 Will is in.
Juiced here? Don't feel like Juiced
No,
is here.
Juiced in here.
So we're just waiting on Juiced.
Yep. Yeah, good to hand it over, J. Cole.
Oh.
Right, we're live. Right, welcome back everyone for what is going to be, well, what should be a fantastic race now at Silverstone. And I am hopped up on caffeine right now. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm not. I need to get one. I need to get a coffee or something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run off and I'm going to quickly do the standings from the last race, and I'll try and get it done as quick as I can so I don't miss too much. So I will not be long, but I will leave you to it for the first 5-10 minutes and then I'll jump back in.
Okay, so the team that we're going to be focusing on tonight is the Insona team. I apologise if I butchered that for you guys. And we'll go for the questions. What they are hoping for in terms of what they're looking for in terms of how they want to do tonight. They're hoping for a good event without any problems, but in 24 hours, a lot of things can happen. Second question, who do they want to beat? They're not looking to really beat any other any other teams. There's a lot of good teams in it. We hope we'll race ahead and we'll get, and we have got a regular pace. Question 3 about who's their fastest driver. They're saying Joey and Ryan are the best in pace, so we have to keep an eye on Ryan, who I believe is here. Yes, he is. And who is here to make up the numbers? It is going to be Remy. And an interesting fact, Joey is a Chelsea fanboy. There you go, Mark. Something that you can relate to. Worst thing ever. Sorry, I didn't have any worse fact than that. So we're going to try and jump on board with Ryan, if we can get to his name quick enough. There we go. So there we are, we're on board with Ryan. And if they could be any animal, they would be a wolf, because they are focused. All our drivers make a wonderful team, and I hope that is what they will show this weekend. So that is the questions from the Inosa team. I probably butchered that a second time, and I do apologize a second time. But we are underway here in qualifying, and we're on board with Ryan as he goes through Cop's corner, heading towards Maggots and Beckett's now. Let me just get all the lap delta and everything up. So exit of Chapel, DRS wide open, currently in 6th right now for Ryan as we run down the hanger straight towards Stowe, throwing it in there 5th gear, short shifting up to 6th, and now into Vale and the club section, dropping a few positions and around the final corner, managed to pull it back and he's up into 6th place there. Good lap from Ryan. So there we go, we'll run you through the qualifying order again. So we got Sparks on pole position, hoping to stay in the session this time around, and we hope he does stay in the session as well. Puts it on pole with a 23.9 ahead of Juiced in 2nd, Chapelady in 3rd, Tomato in 4th, Toxic in 5th, Ryan in 6th, XL Neo in 7th, Morgan in 8th, Harry in 9th, Bean rounding out the top 10, and outside the top 10 we got Little Roman Neil Spag, NER Manu, I apologize if I butchered that as well, Tijones, Adriocdoc, Puff Digital, Nick Aspect, PR1 Will, and Corey, unfortunately picking up an invalidation on their qualifying laps. And we hope we can bring you the standings very soon. And it is looking very British out there in terms of the weather conditions. Overcast, but I have been told that it is going to be a dry race. Oh, no, actually, it's going to be dry at the start, but it's going to be raining at some point during the race. And this is going to get tasty. I think this might be one of the only changeable conditions races that we've had where we may need to swap onto the wet compound of tyres. So we could be seeing more of a one-stop coming from everyone here tonight instead of a two-stop, being the wet tyres may come into play as we're just getting ready to get underway. And first of all, I'd like to personally thank everyone who has donated so far. You have all done a fantastic job in raising money for young people's mental health. You absolutely smashed it, guys. and I'm very proud to be in this community where we can come together and raise money for a fantastic charity such as young people's mental health. So as we are on the formation lap, do we have any predictions from anyone in the chat? I mean, there's the predicted pit stop strategy. Normally it's an easy one stop, soft to the mediums, but let's bring up the tyre graphics, and there is the rain. It is falling on the formation lap, guys. The rain is starting to fall. We may be seeing rain sooner than expected, and Spag out there right now on the mediums. Obviously not expecting the rain to come this early in the race, but we'll see how that will affect, guys, as the tracks get a lot greasier, as the grip starts to fall away from them, as the conditions of the track begin to change. So everyone desperately trying to get some tyre temperatures into their tyres as the rain is falling. As we come to the end of the formation lap to get ourselves underway. Around the final corner, everyone will come to take their grid spots to get this race underway, and we'll await those beautiful 5 red lights. We got the last few cars now coming towards the back of the grid, and now we will await, and here we go to those 5 red lights. Lights are out, and we are we underway? Lights have gone out for me, and now we are underway. That was a very big delay on my end, as we got some movements going on in the back, but I'm keeping it focused on those up front, as Spag has already retired from the session. Spag losing it through, I believe turn 1 is Abbey. So lose it there in Abbey, and we got Will also tangled up in all of that. We got Nick dropping positions there as he's side by side with Aspects, and Aspects gets through. And now we got Neo and Morgan battling out as they go up into Brooklands. And now into left field. Racing Point and the Renault there giving each other enough racing room. And that might open things up for Little Roma Nino to have a go, but towards the front, we got Tomato all over the back of Juiced for second place, and right now the top 3 very close, separated by just 0.5 of a second there in the top 3. Little Romanino all over the back of Morgan now. It is a bit of a Welsh rivalry going on here between these two today, and Little Roma going to be hoping to make up for the mistake that he made at the end of the Vietnam race, as the rain is falling. It's going to get a lot slippier as Adri manages to get through on Harry, because Harry is around and in the grass. Harry be there off into the distance doing a bit of lawn mowing, as we got Tijonas and Morel going through turns 1 and 2 side by side. Ferrari and Mercedes, and it looks like Manu able to get the job done, as we got Adri and Agori by side by side on the run up into Brooklands. The Renault down the inside. Adri with a beautiful switchback though to get the run to go around the outside at left field, but can't get the job done.
Not yet, not yet. So I'm back. Standings are being updated from the man, the myth, the legend, J. Cole. Yeah, so as I understand, changeable positions.
Yep, changeable conditions, and that always spices things up when it comes to a British GP, and it's sure to spice this one up as well, as Adri just losing a bit of time to Corey ahead there, so that brings an end to that battle. But as it gets wetter, the conditions will change, and we've already got people coming into the pit, so Tomato and Toxic into the pits at the end of lap 1.
Toxic Brothers decided that, I'm guessing, Inter's time. I'm going to keep an eye on them, see what they do tyres-wise. I'm guessing it's going to be Inter's. Yeah, Inter's. Let's go.
The green wall tyres coming out to play, and I think, I'm not sure, but I think it's the first race where we've actually seen the Inters come out in the race. I know we've seen it in qualifying, but I don't think I've seen it so far in the race.
No, I think you're right. I missed a couple earlier, but I think you're right. Let's pay close attention then to Tomato and Will, because Will is quick, as we know, as is Tomato, so this will be quite representative. And I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, I think it does look a little bit too early, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a mistake. The gap is going up and up, not massively, but, well, you know, to be fair, it's every corner, isn't it? So, it's not really, yeah, this is too early. Too early for those guys.
Yeah, but we got Adri under pressure from Aspects for P12 right now, and I was just speaking on our the team that we was going to be keeping our focus on, the Insomnia team, as we got Adri and Aspects side by side. How do you think their campaign has gone so far, as we got a flurry of cars into the pits?
They had a good race last race. I think that they are, to my knowledge, doing.
Was that someone just going sideways here? Yeah, it was Adri.
Yeah.
Adri, they're going for a trip.
Tomato's lost a lot of time. He's flailing around back there.
Morgan, I think, forgot to change his tyres. He's come out on the set of the mediums.
Pain. Tomato loses it. He's having to regroup back onto the track. And yeah, I still think it's too early. I don't see this working out. Let's look at Sparks to Will. Although that would indicate, yeah, maybe it is the right time.
Sparks is slowing. Sparks is closing on Will ever so slightly. I think it's on that teetering edge right now, as now it's starting to come down just a little bit extra, as Will is all over the back of Adri, and
I think the guys at the front have timed it perfect, to be honest with you. I think they've timed it absolutely spot on. I think this is the perfect moment to pit, and I think that's going to show and evident in the position changes, personally.
Yeah, Chapelele, Nino, Bean all into the pits now, and will we see a double stack from the Williams? Yes, we will. Puff Digital getting digital out there, and Harry B has to wait for the download.
So are we? All Mavericks in the chat. This will be very familiar to him. This will be like a D5 stream. Us two in the chat. So hopefully he's enjoying it. Where will these guys come out? Chapelele will come out.
Oh, this is side by side almost.
Yeah, this is big news for these guys. And yeah, I think the gainers, they've all gained. I think that was the perfect lap to pit. I think they've all timed it fairly seamlessly. And if you look where Tomato is, you can tell that it wasn't the lap to pit for those guys back there.
Yeah, and for Morgan now it's going to be another pit stop, and Pinks, he's going to be in no man's land for, should be a lot of this race.
Well, he's doing okay, isn't he? out there. It's not the worst scenario. I think you can get in. There's quite far on this track, so you might be able to go to the end if he pits again.
We got
Of course, everyone having to pit twice, even though it's wet. Can't take these to the end. It has to be the full wets for that to count. So everyone will have to pit again.
So they will have to do a two-stop then.
They will. Indeed.
Right, and here we go. I mean, as we were saying, this is going to be painful Morgan. He's got an absolute train right behind him now, and they all just swamping him on the hangar straight.
Contact! Neo and little Roman Nino make contact. I think that it was pretty fine from my end. I just think it was unfortunate because of the weather. It's not exactly the ideal scenario. Wheel to wheel, I wouldn't think that was much ado about anything, to be honest with you. But really unfortunate for little Roman Nino. It doesn't lose tons of time, but will be frustrated from that incident.
Yes, unfortunate for little Romanino, and he's still in a pretty decent position in that 7th. There's still a long way to go in this race, only 6 laps in. He can soldier on and try and get himself back into there. As we got Corey down the inside of Aspects, and Corey just backing out there just before the Wellington straight on the run up to Brooklands. But we got Will at the moment just getting past Harry B for 14th.
They're a long way back, those guys. Everyone behind Toxic is in a bit of world of pain, really. So the real kind of sharp end, I think, is pretty much from SM and Bean upwards. And Chapelletti having that penalty just adds another wrinkle to it.
Yeah, and obviously in the dry, it is very easy to pick up the track extending warnings, but in the wet, it's so much easier to pick them up.
Yeah, 100%, and it's so easy just to go wide and do something a little bit silly, get a wiggle on, and kind of overextend, and not being able to correct it because of the conditions. Bit of a mixed up grid again, really. The guys in the grey cars not doing what they probably think is expected of them, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about a wet race, it really does mix up the order, because you'll have a lot of drivers who in the dry may not be as comfortable as some drivers, but in the wet is when they come alive.
Well, I'll tell you one guy who is very good in the wet is Neo. Very, very good in the wet. He will be loving these conditions, I suspect. It's Toxic, overtaken from Will. These guys have got a lot of work to do, but they should be able to catch on to the back of someone like Puff, who has struggled a little bit in the big places, but don't blame him. These grids are super competitive. No reflection on him at all.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say for this year's 24-hour event. I think this has got to be the most competitive grid that we've seen.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I would completely agree. I would say it's the deepest as well. There's not one or two teams that look really out of their depth. You know what I mean? Just really far behind. Everyone has got drivers in the teams that can deliver good results and good points. So, yeah, 100%. I would say this is probably the most competitive grid that it's ever seen.
Yeah, we got Tomato now all over the back of Corey Aspects and Tijonas. Now the battle for 8th becoming a 4-way battle, and you kind of have to favour Tomato now to start trying to make his way through, but picking up a 3-second time penalty, that's not going to help him as he goes down the inside. Oh.
Adri is off, and that will not help. You'll see a Welshman passes Adri at Silverstone. He will not be happy with that. It'll bring back horrible memories of someone like you, probably.
I didn't race at Silverstone when me and Adri were racing there.
Looking for him. Corey looks racy. I like the look of Corey. I think Corey's doing well to tag onto the back of Tomato. And I think those two will make moves. Shawnes is no slouch in the wet. I was supposed to see him doing slightly better. But Neo holding true to form in that glorious wonderful Racers One helmet. And he's pulling away from Bean. He might be in danger in some ways of being slightly in a class of his own. In a good way, in the sense that it's going to deliver good points for XL, but maybe in a slightly boring way. But he is catching juiced. But not the gap seems to go in and then go back out. And generally, he's catching him a bit as Chalice is catching on little Romanino too.
Yeah, so that four-way battle could very easily turn into a five-way battle for P7. That's one to keep our eyes on, and another one to keep our eyes on is Sparks, who's going to be looking to make up for an unfortunate disconnect in the last race.
Yeah, 100%. That was such unfortunate luck from him. I really felt it for him. Kudos for staying awake. So easy just to drift off, as I know from doing it before about this time in the previous one. But he's looking really racy out there and really in the net lead because of Chapelonis.
Yeah, as we just seen Corey picking himself up a 3-second time penalty as well. And lap 9 of 26, we're starting to see a few 3-second time penalties crop up. And with how close it is, one penalty could cost you a few positions, especially if you're in that battle for 7th right now.
100%.
We look like we got Ryan closing up to the back of Adri for 17th place, and it's not been a good start to this race for either driver in the sister Red Bull teams.
No, as Nick picks up a 3-second pen. It's. I suppose the danger of wet races is that they have a higher potential kind of skill gap, no DRS, so it doesn't have anything to bunch them together. So you can start to see gaps appear, which is not what you want when you're commentating a race at 3:30 in the morning. We'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, what we want to see some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing in the wet through Magus and Beckett's. That's what we want to see.
One thing I found here as well is that compared to the dry race, where it's easy to overtake on the DRS, if you're running almost an optimal setup in the sense of pace, as Morgan picks up a pen, your wing's too high, and you can't actually overtake anyone around here. If you're running what is the technically quickest pace, but you just don't have to get around them as Tomato. Up the inside. Can he get it done? He does. What a move on Aspect. They both run wide though. They'll probably go pick up a move for that.
Oh, little Romanino.
Horrible.
I mean, it is unfortunate for little Romanino, and it's got to be something to do with the Welsh. It has to be. As Tijonas will inherit 7th place, and Toxic Tomato, as he was formerly known, and that's why I know him as, trying his best to close up to the Ferrari ahead.
It's quite weird to actually not see him called Toxic Tomato, to be fair. As he's running nicely, little Romanino, unfortunately, horrible time to disconnect. Really disheartening as Aspect should obviously make his way through. Yeah, big gaps in the back of the field.
Yeah, we're starting to see a few gaps start to form. Bean, and I'm always gonna butcher this name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Manu.
Mauna.
Huh?
Mauna. I'm going with.
Mauna. Okay, I'll go with you then. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. I'm listening to Mark. Mauna and Bean in a bit of a no man's land, all by themselves at the moment. You got Sparks, who's looking like he is starting to close in on Chapelady for the race lead on track, though he doesn't need to pass him on track, but it is a pride thing. Even if you can win on penalties, it's a pride thing to win on track.
100%. 100%. Sparks is flying. He's definitely flying, and Neo is really in a bit of a no man's land because he's unfortunately behind Juiced and losing time now, but also gaining it quite considerably on Bean. So might be a bit of a lonely one unless one of the top three make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean for Neo, obviously strategy could also bring him back in, maybe a well-timed undercut as Ryan picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that would be a thing to keep an eye out for. Who is going to try an undercut on the guys ahead to jump the queue?
Yeah, it's so hard to overtake here that I think an undercut could work really well. Like, it wouldn't be surprising for me to see people coming in actually any time from now. I don't know the exact silence, but
Ryan down the inside of Adri. They come on to the Wellington straight on.
Lines round.
Was there any contact there?
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's just wheel to wheel in the wet.
Breaking.
You can't get away with as much. I don't think Adri did particularly anything wrong there. I just think it's two people side by side in slippy conditions, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was just understeer and Adri. I don't think there was any blame that could be put either side for that incident, but it is unfortunate for Ryan. Now he's got a lot of work to do, and he'll have to make a pit stop for a fresh front wing.
I think we've got Mauna right. I think Mauna is how it's said. What a guess. It's my knowledge of things like
Oh no, Ryan retiring.
Frustration more than anything, and he's probably knackered. So yeah, no points for those guys, unfortunately.
We got Juice closing in on Sparks, but yeah.
Yeah, he's really picked up the pace. In fact, Neo hasn't really lost tons of time to Sparks or Chapelelli. It seems to all just been gained from Juiced. Looking really quite racy.
Yes, we got Toxic and Tijona side by side through Cobbs, and as they run into Magnuson Becker's, Tomato gets ahead of Tijona. I'm going to keep calling him Toxic, but there's two Toxics in here, and I don't want to get people confused.
Good move from Shizou Tomato, I believe he's called. But yeah, Juice now really right in the mix, and you would think though, if these guys do battle and take it to the streets, that it's going to be. Is in. Yeah, okay. This is good. This is interesting. That's a wrinkle.
Oh, and Corey picks up a 5-second.
Romanino stays out. I think this is wise. I like this because the undercut could be really powerful. What it is though, Joe, this is someone's gone on. They've gone on the wets.
Corey on wets.
Wow.
The rain is coming down, but is it that time?
Okay. This adds a massive wrinkle that we just didn't really appreciate. This is insane.
Keep an eye on that gap between him and Tijonas, but right now it looks like Tijonas starting to pull away a bit.
So here we go. Behind Morgan, looks doesn't look like it's not the right tyre from the way they go. Oh, actually, it's giving itself away there through that corner. No, don't think it's right. Whether it will be in 1 or 2 laps or not is another question, but not right now.
Yeah, he's just losing all his time in the corners. A bit too soon for the full wets. Unfortunately there for Corey, and that's going to really hinder him in this race, as we have a fair few gaps starting to show as Shwmae has managed to pull a second advantage over Sparks, who has a second advantage over Juice now.
Juice picks up a pen.
And Neo actually closing in as well. Neo 1.5 back.
Massive for him. And what's interesting is these guys have now stayed out. The front four have stayed out. Because I suspect they are looking. Tomato puts on mediums. Aspect was put on mediums too. So
Inters.
Inters. Medium wets. And Corey is. The funny thing is, Corey is losing time. Yes, like he's losing quite a bit of time, but there's obviously an element of crossover because he's not losing as much as you would probably anticipate.
That's unfortunate. Tijona's not able to get the undercut on Tomato there.
Close. Good effort. I think it was probably the right move. I just think Tomato is just an incredibly quick guy. But yeah, and that's going to get Tijonas as close as he can to Tomato. I think it was the right play.
Yep, as Hadri picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Harry B also on the wets as well.
Yeah. Right, we've got people pitting. It might well be that it's the right time about now. Well, I don't think it is. This is crazy. Gaps are...
Well, the gap between Morgan and Corey is still growing.
Yeah, Neo's put on the Inters. All put on the Inters.
And into the pits comes Puff Digital, and Toxic gonna follow him in right behind everyone apart from the AI of Little Roman Hino and the top two of Bean and Shwmae. And this is big now for Sparks and Juice because they got this undercut now on Shwmae.
Unless Shap is just staying out in the hope that it does go wet. Although saying that, Corey is again, that probably indicates that not the optimal tyre, and just riding on board with Harris, what it looks like. The bar sections. No, it's just not the right tyre. It's nearly lost it in a big accident there. It's certainly not the right tyre.
It's unfortunate. Seen a few errors in strategy as Shwmae into the pits, and now we'll have to see what the gap will be like when comes out of the pits. What's he going to beat the Sparks, who's approaching Stowe right now, so it's going to be close.
It is.
We got Toxic on the back of. Go on, I'll let you pronounce it again.
Mauna. He gets through. Good effort.
Sparks is he going to get him?
Mauna's round. That was a bit of a ill-advised lunge back more than anything. I didn't think that was ever going to work realistically, as Morgan now has to probably slow down a bit as Mauna rejoins. Not going to work out perfect for him. Harry B is still losing time, but not masses of time to Puff Digital. It's still slow. It's still not the right tyre, but that might change at some point.
Well, I'm looking at the I'm looking at Morgan right now because he's one of these guys who I think is praying for it to go to full wets.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And he's got Mounty in front and Aspects just ahead of him, and they're going to be catching up to the AI ghosted car of Little Romanino now.
Yeah, seems to be struggling in these wetter conditions. Lost some time off the back of Juiced. The gaps have just expanded themselves actually as they've got wetter between the top four. And Bean is still losing
Corey
time.
and
But
Nick side by side, that's the closest battle we got right now. Nick around the outside, and Corey will have the inside to Brooklyn's. And the steer there, but a switch back there from Nick. Gonna try to get a better run down the old pit straight. I don't think he's got it. Now this will be interesting. Little Romanino's AI is in the pits. Now the AI usually see something that we don't.
yeah, that's true. He's got onto the wets. Wow.
Oh, okay, that's telling.
Well, Harry Digital, again, I've gone back and it is losing a bit of time, but not tons of time. Like, this is intriguing. One of the front four take a gamble. None of them have. None of them have in the last lap, but will they... what do you do? Because the problem is the pit lane is so long here. If you make the wrong decision, you've completely wrecked it.
Yeah.
It's close. It's really close.
As Tomato picks up another pen, and I'm actually going to have a peek at the pen situation right now. So that is the pen situation that you guys will see on screen. 6 seconds for Tomato, 5 for Aspect, 6 for Puff Digital. Toxic picking up his second 3-second time penalty, and Corey was 6 seconds. Then we got Adri, Harry, Nick, Morgan, Maunu. I'm gonna keep saying it wrong. I can't keep it to memory. I've been awake way too long, but I've got a long way to go. Tijones, Houston, Chapelady on 3. Go on.
It could be near enough quicker. It's just we're not willing to gamble at this point because the pit loss is so big.
Well, it does look like Harry is starting to close in on Puff Digital, and he's bringing it down for the corners.
It's really on the cusp, but the pit loss is so big here that you would have to lose. And I don't think even in the wettest of conditions you lose tons on the inters. It's a bit weird this game. The other way round you do, but I'd be surprised if anyone pits. It could be a race-winning move though for like the top 8, literally. Top 9 even, you could like top 10 maybe. Certainly top 11. Top 6 probably too far back. But yeah, potentially it could turn out to be an inspired move. Oh, I tell you what, Juice must have made a mistake because Neo's right on the back of him now.
Yeah, he's dropped a couple of seconds to Sparks up ahead. Puff Digital picking up a 3-second time penalty, and the thing is, the gap between Harry and Puff Digital is flying down.
Yeah.
And Tomato's in.
Wow, okay. Tomato's listened. I think Tomato's thought, well, I can win this race, or I cannot. And I won't win this race if I stay out. And he's right. So, let's see what happens now. It would have to, for me, really shake it down. I don't think it's the right decision, personally. But we're going to find out.
We've got some fast guys ahead of Tomato, so this will be telling. and
Yeah.
yeah, it is actually coming down rapidly.
It is. It is, to be fair. But not enough for me to get him challenging for a win. Maybe even back to where he was. But it could get better, to be fair.
Well, for someone like Morgan now, who I believe does have to make a second pit stop anyway,
Yeah.
boxing now for the wets would be the best call for him.
Oh no, Morgan doesn't. He's actually had 2 stops.
Is he?
Yeah, he's had 2 stops.
Oh.
I think he must have got some wing damage or something early. Yeah.
Oh no, he pitted for the mediums, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Tomato is all over the back of Toxic. I mean, Tomato is probably slightly quicker than Toxic, which might count for like 2-3 temps, but he's way quicker. So getting past him is going to be another thing.
Well, speaking of that, it looks like the gap between Harry B and Adri, I think that gap has extended as well.
Yeah.
So the wets are definitely the better tyre right now, as Will gets through on Morgan for P9.
I think this is the problem, though. It's just finding that. Oh wow, the grip level is different, isn't it? Wow, it's got that done clean.
Fantastic switch there from Tomato, and Harry getting past Puff Digital as well. The wets are working.
They are. It's a shame the pit loss is so big in this track. I think that's kind of spoiled it for us, because I think Tomato could have done a mad job getting back into contention. Where did he pit from? He pitted ahead of Tionis, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting to see if he can get back there.
We got Aspect still holding on the 7th right now. Will, who hasn't picked up a penalty yet, maybe looking to close in a little bit and try and jump the guys ahead. Look at the gap between Morgan and Tomato, and that it is flying down. And the gap between Tomato and Toxic is extending rapidly. It might have been worth it, the pit when Tomato did.
Yeah, potentially. It is flying down. I think we're going to see there. It would need to really, I think, get a little bit. I mean, it's soaking out there, to be fair. Can't. They would need something. They need the tyres to really fall off, though. But kudos for trying something different.
We got Corey on the back of Adri now for 16th. Corey with a lot more penalties to his name.
This race has not been kind to us. The gaps are everywhere.
Yeah.
Not been kind for the timing either. We're a little bit behind, and that's not going to help. Wet conditions. Although, to be fair, not one of the worst tracks for wets. A lot of obviously very fast tracks, obviously.
Yeah. Well, right now we're just waiting to see if Will can get himself into that window to overtake up into 6th on penalties. He's closing right up to the back of the.
After he's off.
Oh no, not again.
Currently getting beaten by Romanino's AI. As there's quite a few people, to be fair.
I don't think Puff Digital's going to have it though. He's fighting back. Puff Digital's not going to be beaten by the AI. As we got the Welsh lads fighting, Tomato and Morgan, and Tomato, such an advantage on those tyres, just flies through. We got Will trying it around the outside of left field. Is he going to be able to get the drive out of there?
Bowner must have made a mistake because he was quite clear. So Will using all that overtake round that corner, that's risky business. Gets it done. What a great move. Fair play to him.
When Adri speeding into the pits.
It's worth finishing, Adri. Just get those points. 3 points. Get the wets on. Go for a nice leisurely drive.
We got Tomato now on the back of
Yeah, on the back of Malna.
yeah.
Really well. We have the grip advantage enough through there to be able to do a dive. Yet.
Oh, he's got a much better drive though.
Wow.
For the final corner.
Just crazy. That is crazy, the difference in that. You're in danger now of slipping outside of the 3-second penalty kind of mark. Needs to be careful as we have yellows for people moving over. That's fair. Yeah, Will.
He's a sitting duck.
Yeah, he is. He can't get the grip out of that corner, so they're instantly kicking out. It's been a worse spot. Just brake later on those wets because they're the right tyre, and that's that. It's just nice and easy. So it might be a bit of a stroke of worth a go. Let's say stroke of worth a go. Not going to win the race.
Aspects. Oh, a bit of contact between Tomato and Aspects. Oh, fair play to Aspects. He was able to hold on to that. I thought for sure he was going off into the wall.
Yeah. Now Tomato has 2.5 laps to catch, to be honest. Kind of neutralised his decision. Which, to be fair, I don't think he was going to be able to catch. Particularly near, maybe Bean, but I think this was his only way of trying to potentially get a podium. So no harm done if he can, particularly if he can catch. To be honest,
I think he tried a bold strategy in the hopes that everyone else would follow suit. But yeah, it just didn't work out for him.
Nick does not have to pit again. No, Jaco. He does not. He's managed to take those all the way. Silverstone is very kind on your tyres, to be fair, as Toxic picks up another pen. Not what he needs. There's Harry B. All over the back. Little Romanino's AI Ghost has absolutely crushed after Jules. Shows you how the tyre advantage really is there. As Tomato is starting to really approach Chionis. We have Doom in the chat saying, "Near's an old man. He's going to sleep."
Here goes Harry. Harry getting through on Toxic on the run down into Brooklands.
Good move.
And for Tomato, he's gained, I'd say, a good 3 seconds on this lap on Tijonis.
Well, he has 3 more seconds of pens, so he needs to get this move done.
It could be on.
Yeah, I would say he needs to get it done before the lap starts, like he did last time. And we'll have a bit of excitement.
Snap.
Tomato wanted to dive it. Ooh! It's his wing, but it's all safe and sound. He's going to go up the inside. That's such a good move. Jonas has to back out, and Tomato now has a brilliant opportunity now to stretch his legs. Try and break that penalty.
Yeah, the question is now, can he build the 3 second advantage? As we got Corey on the back of Puff Digital, and this is probably the closest and the only battle we're going to see for the end of this race.
Yep.
Sparks picked up a penalty on the final
Ooh,
lap.
that what he was pushing to get back into Shapalele, and that's going to cost him potentially.
Yep, and Neo just doing enough right now to stay within that 3 second to jump juice from the podium.
Just hanging on. He's just hanging on. He's got a couple of corners.
Jump on board with Shapalele as he comes for the final few corners. It's been a fantastic drive from him, and he is going to cross the line with the win to his name, and it's like Sparks will join him, and it looks like Neo is going to do enough to get the XL lads another podium.
Great effort from Neo. Great. He is the rain master. Fair play to him.
Oh, it's on the teetering edge, Tijonis and Tomato.
Oh, Bean is round.
Oh,
no, he's already finished. Sorry.
Oh, Tijonis just dropped out of it.
Master stroke from Tomato in the end.
Harry on the back of Morgan.
Yeah.
See, can Harry get the drive out of this? Oh, he's got the drive, but not enough.
And the AI car in 14th finishes...
It's my driver of the day.
finishes ahead of 4 active serving drivers. Nice.
AI is my driver of the day. Argue with me if you want, but fantastic drive.
I can't believe Shapalele didn't bin it in those conditions. It was unbelievable. World renowned for it.
Fantastic result for Shapalele, and for Sparks as well. I think he'll be happy with that after what happened at Vietnam last time out.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Will gets the driver of the day. Right, well, who would you give driver of the day to?
Let me have a look. Let me have a look at some of the performances. It's always tough in the rain. Will did well, but he's got a lot of pace anyway. If I was to give it to anyone, I'd probably give it to Aspect. Maybe Neo. Aspect or Neo. Aspect, I haven't seen his name. Sounds like good performance from him. And Neo, obviously, starting 7th and using I think he picked exactly the right lap. So, in some ways, yeah, why not give it to Neo?
I think I'll have to agree with that, and think yeah, that's gonna bring an end for my time on commentary for right now, because I believe the next race is Belgium, and I'm going to be racing.
Oh, I didn't realise that was the case. Hang on, I think it's... okay. Let me have a look. Who is meant to be up now?
I believe you got a Packer in
it's Packer. It's Packer.
Yeah, so we got Packer jumping in comms for Spa-Francorchamps, and that's going to be another fantastic race, and we'll see how we get on in that one. But yeah, for me, for right now, it is goodbye for now, but I will be back in... Let's see, I'll be back in 3 races time for China alongside J. Cole. So, 1 more comp to do, 2 more races, and then I can go to sleep.
See you later, bud.
Alright. J. Cole needs to take back control. stuff.